Hey guys, it's Lucid Dreams, Raising the Higher Minds. We are here, and I just walked out to my barn area, and I seen the groundhog Gus, so he is so adorable. Um, but yeah, a lot has happened, and I'm sorry it took so long to do a video. Yeah, so let me just tell you. In a week, in the past week, within 7 days, I was told that my house is going to get sold, that I had so much time to make an offer. My patient passed away, so my income stopped. My patient's also someone very close to me, my uncle. And yeah, we've been through a little bit here lately. And I'm one to really control my thoughts and emotions, and I've done so well at that. However, things have been kind of like hitting me so much that it's like, wow, like I need to sit and think for a minute. Um, and I see the positives in everything, you know. My uncle's not suffering anymore. Um, I need to make a decision on the house anyway. People's came out of the woodwork to help us with that. Um, yeah, we have opportunity everywhere we turn, job offers and things like that. So right now I'm just like, everything's changing, right? And it's like you didn't change things on your own, so now you're forced to change, and you have to reevaluate yourself and stand back. And that happens to us in life. That's just a reminder that we're living, that we're human, and you know, things come up against us, and instead of being like, why me, you know, I'm more so like, it's a new opportunity, and that's where we're at. So I'm not sure, I'm not going to rush into anything. With everything happening so fast, I haven't had time to really channel or filter my own thoughts, and so I'm just being, you know, I'm just being authentic, real, and when I want to take the time to decide where I'm going, then I'll do that. But right now, no big decisions are being made. So yeah, I have been really diving deep into spirituality and working on myself. And working on myself means that I have been taking a look at everything. And, you know, I really think that it's crazy how when you honestly realize that you can manifest your desired wants and your outcomes, you got to realize that your thoughts are everything, right? And so I'm like, well, my thoughts must have led us to this situation. And obviously not with the death. That's something that I can't stop. That's in God's hands. But my thoughts, like, why is my house, you know, getting sold? Like, I don't know how many times I'm like, let go of material things. And that's where I'm coming with this. We were actually going to do some work, some yard work, here recently, probably like, you know, a month ago. And I was like, no, let's not do that. That's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be time. And we don't own this house. And he's liable to sell it. And we just don't want to do that. And I reflect back onto that. You know, now I'm like, I should never put that out there. You know, words are spells. And people don't realize that. And so, you know, I have my mom and my roommate believing like we shouldn't do work, you know, because he could sell the place. And next thing I know, he's like, hey, I might sell the place. So, you know, we kind of manifest our own reality, obviously. And it's not we do manifest our own reality. And then, you know, what I've realized is, you know, I like the house. I love the house. We're happy. And if I can make it work, I will. But at the same time, if we lose it, then it's time for us to move forward. And I understand that, you know, God has got this plan for me. And, you know, I'm a firm believer not to sit still, not to stay stagnant, to keep moving, keep growing yourself. And, you know, within a week, you know, at the closing of all this, which just happened a couple days ago, we made an offer on the house. Come to find out, the house can't even be sold. It needs a lot of work, and it's failed inspection. So, you know, the homeowner's going to have to put in quite a bit of money to get it even to be able to sell. And so, you know, it worked in our favor. Nothing's ever promised forever, and we have to remember that. Not even life, you know, of loved ones, you know, in this physical plane. Now, I want to talk about this because when you look at everything as thoughts, then you understand that you can manifest anything you want, your own desires. When you go deeper into that, you're talking about a spiritual awakening that could really disturb your mentality, your physical psyche. You can actually go crazy by getting too awake. And what I'm saying about that is that you can literally, once you understand what life really is, then you understand that it's always you looking back at you. And with that being said, you understand when you fully, and you know, you can hear my words, but when you fully grasp what I'm saying and you experience this on your own, I'm sorry about the light gaze there. But when you experience that, then you'll know what I'm saying. You know, you're at one of your highest peaks, your highest level, and when you realize what consciousness is, and consciousness is, it can't be measured. It's infinity. Consciousness is the state of mind that it expands you to higher levels of realms of reality. And once you understand truly what consciousness is, you understand that everything around you is just a perception of your own thoughts. So how is that possible? Or you might be saying, Lucretia, so what are you saying? I manifested my parents. I manifested my life. Yeah, you did. You knew everything. You came back here for a lesson, for more learning, and for growth, or for teaching. You know, all these things. You are here to experience life, and that was an option. God gives us those options. God gives us self-will. It's really incredible to see that, you know, so many Christians don't believe in reincarnation. We definitely reincarnate. Our soul doesn't die, you know. And it's just, you know, I can't get through to people sometimes with that, but, you know, that's just how it is. So if this body dies and this brain dies, what do we have that we know we have? Is consciousness, okay? There's a conscious part of our brain that we have within ourselves. Science can't dissect consciousness. You know, so if you want to go to science, you're not going to get it. You know, it's through God that consciousness is created. Consciousness creates the life, you know. It is the thought. God thinks something to existence and it's here. And that's why we are God's thoughts. It's up to us to live by God's way. And so we have to control our thoughts. I mean, this is the most important thing. And I get this thing where people are like, you got to be careful what you're doing. You're dabbling into something you shouldn't. Well, you know, ask those people, do you speak? Do you speak things into existence? Because it's the same as a spell. You're speaking things. So why don't you make sure you speak God's word and you speak positive things into existence? No negative there. You know, also, you know, your thoughts. A lot of people manifest darkness within them because their thoughts consume them. So by thinking, you know, I'm going to lose this, or nobody likes me, or nobody loves me, or whatever it is that you're thinking, I'm not good enough, having fear, I'm not going to get this job, whatever it is, then you're not going to get it. You cannot shut off thoughts, okay? They're there, right? They're going to be there. So I guess what I'm saying is every thought, you can control some thoughts, but you can't shut them off, right? And so every day you're manifesting. And so we cannot call that witchcraft. You're manifesting every day because you have so many thoughts going within your head. And until you recognize each and every one of those thoughts and learn how to control them, then you can better guide yourself on your path. But, you know, for someone to say, oh, Lucretia, you're manifesting, that's sin. No, it's not sin. It's sin if your will is to manifest something for a materialistic wise or self-gain, okay? You manifest every day with your thoughts, your worries, your concerns, everything. You're manifesting because your outside image and what surrounds you is from your own thoughts. So this can get very deep. And years ago, I had a spiritual breakdown to where I thought I was losing my mind. And I repented and prayed because I didn't know what to do. I was so spiritually connected due to my gift and rising my thoughts and my conscious elevation that, you know, it almost was like looking at the wall. And the wall, I could tell that I knew that it was a manifestation. And you might be like, well, why did you dabble this far? I didn't dabble that far. Okay, I soul travel naturally. My soul walks through walls. I have to question what the substance of my soul is. How does my soul transfer? Where are these places in which I'm seeing and going in a soul travel? What are these lives? So when I come to you, this ain't because I studied or read a book. I've read one book in my entire life, and that's the Bible. You know, I just now bought some books to read. I'm working on that, actually. But what I know is from within and from my own gift. When you are traveling in your soul, you have to ask yourself, what is the body? You know, these questions come since I was a child. I got into medical because I knew that there was more than the body, and that if we could understand the soul, then we can actually heal and fix people. You know, the soul's like the plug-in, the energy port to your body. And when my soul's astral traveling, my body is cold with goosebumps. When my soul is gone too long and I connect back into the body, I feel every nerve zap in my body like it was reconnecting and charging. That's from traveling too far. It's dangerous. I don't think that you guys should try to astral travel. Lucid dreaming, yeah. I think that you should be able to be aware and in control in your dreams, but actually soul traveling, I'm not sure if that's something that is you would want to do. It takes a strong person, and it took me many years to get where I'm at. When I'm in soul travel, I know what the soul is. When I leave the body, I know exactly that my consciousness is what guides that vehicle. What's within me is the heart of everything, okay? So if I want to rise in consciousness, I rise in vibration. I rise in elevation of heavenly realms. I experience other lives. You can be a higher vibrational being right here on earth, and you can still see things out of a higher perspective of consciousness. Consciousness is the everything to existence, and science is really trying to dabble right now and determine what consciousness is. And they're trying to determine what reality is. I'm telling you now, consciousness creates reality. Without consciousness, you have no thoughts. You think you were born into this life. You think you were born and there's rocks and there's grass and there's everything and this is earth. No, consciousness created that. God's consciousness. And I'm not talking about New Age. I'm talking about God's thoughts. Okay, so just as way He is, we are to be. We are to create in a way that helps God. We are to spread God's word. There's a fine line trickery going on right now between right and wrong. The right pathway and the narrow pathway. Or the narrow pathway and the wrong pathway, whatever. You know, the devil believed he was God. And so a lot of New Agers really truly believe they're God. However, we have to realize that God lives in us. So as a Christian, I know that I am a very gifted seer. But as a Christian, you have to understand that we are a spark of God, you know. And the fine line is just so extremely crazy. God grants us the ability. So we have the ability to manifest, to create. In the end, He wants us to come back to Him. So, you know, we can manifest what we want. We can control our thoughts, be good, do all these things, but are we asking for Him to take us home? Are we willing to shed the body, to realize that this house is nothing but imagination? To realize that this body is nothing but imagination? Are you prepared to really understand that and to let this body go? It's getting deep, and that's why you can literally go insane from getting too high in elevation. It can become a very lonely place, and just like, I've never done psychedelics, but someone I know very well does, and he's very in tune, and he's told me stories. Now, just in the same way as when you're on a psychedelic, and the wall melts, you know, I've heard that from more than one person before, just in that way. People say it's hallucinations. It's not hallucinations, it's consciousness. It's the veil between reality and consciousness being shown to you. It's showing you that things aren't physical like you see. And when you're in an acid trip or, you know, mushrooms or whatever they use, they're actually, that veil's being lifted from physical reality, so they can actually see things the way the consciousness sees. And they understand quickly that, you know, they have to think things that are positive or they'll have a bad experience. They do understand that, you know, they just took acid or whatever it is, or mushrooms, and that, you know, that they just took it, they can control it, and this is something that they're experiencing. But there are times when people don't come off of it, that they actually are on it to the point where they become consciousness. They're not attached to body anymore. Those people don't come back to reality. They only see the higher realms. In the higher realms and soul travel, I can relate to this because I know what I see. So I'm telling you that consciousness is everything. What you think is manifested instantly. There comes a point where you detach this body, okay? So say somebody took a bunch of LSD and never came back. They never was normal again. They never came back to this body. Well, that's the same as a death, detaching from the body. When you die and your soul dies, you detach from the body. You don't have logic anymore. You only have consciousness. How far is your consciousness? You know, is your consciousness good? Is it bad? How far do you understand God's true knowledge? His knowledge is so powerful it will destruct your very being. You know, eating the tree of knowledge is dangerous. However, the elites have forced us to awaken through God, because if not, we go into destruction, because they're messing with time. So everybody's awakening, and God's pouring his spirit out of us to tell us, you know, this is what's happening. I don't know that it's a bad thing. I think God's been waiting for us to call on him for a long time. He wants to be in our lives. In order to really shed this earthly experience and not come back in a reincarnation due to consciousness being stuck here, you literally have to understand who you are. You have to understand what you got to do. And you are dying to self, literally. And, you know, a lot of people have bad spiritual experiences. And they're like, man, I've dabbled, just like I thought. I repented, fell on the floor, cried, because the walls I knew weren't real. That, you know, I can change my body in many realms, and I can manifest as according to vibration, you know, in thoughts. If I'm really high vibrational in my thoughts and I'm happy and everything's great, I can see very high heavenly realms. It takes consciousness to get you there. It's an all of vibration. And it's like, you know, God works like a light that filters a projection. Okay, so on earth it's like differences. It's like, you know, you have a white light filtering through a projector, and you have this contrast, which creates earth. Higher realms are the same way. It's a light filtered in a different way. It's all coming in through consciousness and through thinking. Everything is created through thought. So we're here like just running away with our own thoughts. Some good, some bad, some evil. You know, it's creating everything we see around us, because at this point we're not talking about me or you. We're talking about as a whole. Because what is happening is the elites are trying to take over thoughts. Why do you think they want in our thoughts so bad? Why do you think that they're trying to push fear-based, push these negative thoughts? They're controlling thoughts. And they use this device here to intercept thoughts. They know the mechanisms and what vibration your mind works at. They know what level they need to get at to intercept messages. You know, the brain's encapsulated in a dark place. Okay? The brain isn't filtering these things. It's consciousness. Consciousness is doing this. And so if your brain's being fed the wrong information through vibration, okay, because it's not, your brain's not seeing, it's a vibration. If it's being filtered the wrong vibration, then you are out of whack. You are not in harmony in the frequency you need for growth, learning, and in God's frequency. They know how to hack the system of the body, and that's what they're doing. Through every mechanism possible, through our foods, low vibrational foods, through our phones, by intercepting thoughts. They're going to take everything we know. That's why I have very far work that I have done, and I'm not putting it here. It's going in a book, because, you know, I would love to do a video about that. My highest teachings are amazing. I can't put it here. I mean, they intercept thoughts even. I don't understand what, I guess what I'm trying to say is, they want to control the reality. They want to control your reality. So they are dabbling with frequencies and vibrations in order to create their own reality. They're trying to create on their own. And so we have to stay high in vibration, and we can't be deceived. And I know none of us are deceived, but we have to really stay on our game. This takes daily devotion in God. So to create the reality you want, you truly have to control your consciousness, your thoughts. Consciousness is everything. Again, it can't be measured. If my consciousness created everything that I see around me, then I can pretty much have whatever I want. It's not sinful to create the reality in which you want to live on your time here on earth. It's not sinful unless you have the will to cause destruction. You know, pray your wants and wishes out, but pay attention to every little single thought. There's many going on that you don't realize, because we have been conditioned in this society. We have been born to a body. People think they're truly bodies. People don't look at things like, I am a soul born into a body experiencing a human life. Experiencing a human experience is due to our consciousness putting us here. It's due to the need for us to learn more. We're learning, we're growing, Really shed these layers, and I'm not just talking about thoughts of what's good and bad. I'm talking about thoughts of your very own existence. Understand that we are so much more than flesh. That life doesn't end here. That it continues on. And somebody might say, well, I'm going to jump off a bridge. You're going to say that my thoughts can make me fly? No, I'm not saying that. We are in such a spot where where everything's been woven for, everything's here in creation, right? If we jump off a bridge, of course we're going to die. Okay? That's our body's going to, fall apart. It's going to die. But our soul doesn't. Our consciousness doesn't. It still lives. So I'm not in no way saying go kill yourself. Of course not. I'm saying that you are more than body. You're more than thought. You're more than this hand. You're more than this perception of reality, because there is a lot more levels out there. And you can only access them when you understand that your consciousness is necessary. Your consciousness is the mechanism that gets you to these higher places. So you can't really define consciousness other than a light. A light that's projecting the image. Okay, so if I want to project this image to get this contrast of green behind me, the light that's filtering through is actually causing this reality. So in heaven, things appear differently because the white light is there. He is God. He's everywhere. He is the light. He is the trees. But this don't look like heaven. Why? Because the contrast, the difference. It's not the same because we're not higher in consciousness. We're not higher in vibration. But when we become higher in vibration, things change around us, just like this background here. It will begin to change. Do we see our own death? I'm not always sure if we do. If our consciousness is low and we're scared, of course we're going to realize we're dying. But if we're growing in consciousness, rising in vibration, seeing the good around us and growing and experiencing the good in everything and feeling pure love and bliss, there's nothing to lose. There's nothing. Nothing to lose, but only so much to gain. And, I haven't done a video like this because I'm not trying to tell everybody to die. I'm telling everybody to die to self, to grow your consciousness and rise in awareness of who you are. Because you're not limited here. Even if they took everything I have, we're talking about a government that's doing whatever the hell they want to do. I'm still going to sit there in a higher state of consciousness. It's not going to lower me because I know if I die and my soul leaves the body and my consciousness is low and my thoughts are really bad, it limits me. That's what they want. They're not getting my soul. No, they won't. I am trying to teach you guys that no matter what kind of pressure you're under, when they were killing Jesus on the cross, he stood there and he didn't flinch. He didn't flinch. He asked God, if I have to go through this, I will. It's your will. And he went through it. He was so trusting in the Lord because he knew that life continued on. So whether we do this transfer living or after we die, we still are here to experience. And it's an amazing thing. So, yeah, when I speak of heavenly realms, and let's just use 5D as an example, rising in consciousness to 5D, it just means that you're surrounding yourself by like-minded people. You can connect to this channel because your mind's already higher. It's already reached heights, and it's still growing. A lot of people does not understand a word I'm saying. In 5D, there's still going to be things around us that doesn't seem to fit 5D. Okay, like there's going to be 3D minds. My higher consciousness sees lower level minds around me all the time, and some I can't help. It doesn't change me in my journey. And the more I grow, the more I prosper into this beautiful flower, or like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. I'm flying and I'm looking back like I love you all and I tried to help you guys. And, it's all about consciousness. You can experience this realm of reality in which you're going to experience when you pass, because you're stuck in limited perceptions and beliefs and you don't understand your own power that God gave us all. I think it's so important right now to realize that. I really wanted to do a video just to let you know that you guys are on my mind, and I'm still writing and I'm still living and I'm still filtering everything that's being thrown at me, understanding that little tiny thoughts I didn't even realize I was having might have set me back, especially in regards to my house. But then also I'm like, well, you know what? It is what it is, and I'm gonna keep growing, and I really am going to focus on my purpose and my true potential and go for it. I don't know what that might take. It's probably going to be some work, but I'm going to take a leap of faith and continue on. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know I'm still here, I'm still working, I'm still in my spiritual stuff daily devotions. I'm going to start getting up earlier and channeling and getting into a prayer with God, and every morning, not just when I can, or especially now that I'm not working, I can do that. And I'm going to figure things out. Try to at least try to figure us all out, but hey, the learning experience is fun too. I just want to say much love to you. And right now, if you're anything like me, you're going through all kinds of experiences where the past is reflecting and popping back up. You're getting hit with some things that make you reflect on things of what you really want. We're just supposed to shed what no longer serves us. We're being reminded all the time to let things go that we don't even know we're holding on to. And that's what we are. So thanks for joining Lucid Dreams, servicing the higher minds.